长相了这女的畜生，猪狗的本领。
爸，你别哭了。
A 16-year-old boy killed his grandparents, uncles, aunts, and great-grandmother overnight. He, along with his friend, abducted his two cousins and confined them in a hotel, all for the sake of taking away 2,000 yuan in cash from their home. On a certain day in 2004, the police in a certain place in Shanxi received an emergency call, reporting a murder case that occurred within a residential area. Upon receiving the report, the police quickly arrived at the crime scene, where they were greeted with a shocking sight that even experienced officers found highly disturbing. Inside the house where the crime took place, they discovered the bodies of 5 adults, with bloodstains and a chaotic scene throughout the room. Further investigation revealed that the homeowner was named Hao Dongshang, and the victims were Hao Dongshang, his wife, his parents, and his great-grandmother who was nearly 90 years old. All 5 people had been brutally stabbed to death. The perpetrator was familiar with the layout of the house and had completely ransacked the finances. The police believed it was a case of home invasion robbery turned murder. However, what puzzled them was that the household registered 7 people, yet only 5 bodies were found in the house. Upon receiving reports from neighbors, it was confirmed that all 7 family members were living together, and 2 young girls were missing. So, who was the killer? Where did the 2 young girls go? Were they taken by the killer to another location and killed there? To further investigate the truth, locating the 2 young girls became a top priority. Fortunately, a witness later reported seeing the 2 girls strolling around on the street, with their cousin Hao Wan standing nearby. Normally, if something happened to his immediate family, he, as their nephew, would show some reaction. But Hao Wan appeared unaffected, casually wandering with the 2 girls, while the girls themselves seemed visibly distressed. This quickly made the police focus their attention on Hao Wan. However, since he was only 16 years old, it seemed unlikely for him to have harmed his grandparents, uncles, aunts, and great-grandmother. Nevertheless, given the leads, an investigation was necessary. Unexpectedly, during the apprehension process, a driver's license belonging to his uncle, Hao Dongshang, fell out of Hao Wan's pocket, instantly revealing the truth. This seemingly mild-mannered boy with glasses standing before them had, overnight, killed his grandparents, uncles, aunts, and great-grandmother, all for the sake of stealing 2,000 yuan in cash from their home to use on the internet. Faced with police interrogation, Hao Wan did not hide or deny his crimes. He openly admitted to his actions. And during the process of committing the crime, Hao Wan, together with his friendly Xin, imprisoned the 2 cousins in a hotel. According to Hao Wan's confession, on the night of the incident, his grandfather confiscated his bank card, so he called his friendly Xin and asked him to come out for a drink together. Taking advantage of the alcohol, Hao Wan vented his inner frustrations. As they spoke, he proposed a daring suggestion, which was to steal money from his grandfather's house. Because he had always harbored resentment towards his grandfather, he saw this as an opportunity for revenge, and also a way to get money to go online. However, considering that his grandparents lived together with his uncle, Hao Dongxing's family, that night the 2 of them first sneaked into the kitchen, and it wasn't until after 2 a.m. that he took a kitchen knife to pry open the door. The 2 of them first went to his grandmother's room. Hao Wan knew that his grandmother usually kept money in a cabinet, with the key hidden under the pillow. So he carefully searched under the pillow, but the noise woke his grandmother up. In that moment, Hao Wan panicked. Without much thought, an evil thought rushed into Hao Wan's mind, and he stabbed his grandmother with the fruit knife he had in his hand. But killing the 5 family members just for that reason alone was obviously hard to justify. So, were there other hidden motives behind it? According to Hao Wan, his grandparents never liked his mother. Even though Hao Wan was a boy, his grandparents showed no joy towards him either and would often give his mother a hard time. When he was young, Hao Wan was still cheerful and sensible, but as he grew older, the contempt from his grandparents slowly changed his personality. His grandfather even said, "I can manage the children of the eldest and the youngest, but I can't control the child of the second." This discrimination made Hao Wan strongly resent his grandparents, as they not only looked down on his mother, but also looked down on him. Later, during his adolescence, Hao Wan became infatuated with the internet and even stole money to go online. When his grandfather found out, he verbally abused Hao Wan, calling him a thief, and treated him like a thief, always on guard against him. Hao Wan said that once his mother found a mobile phone outside and brought it home. Coincidentally, his grandfather saw the phone, and because his grandfather had also lost the same model of phone, he believed that Hao Wan had stolen his phone and given it to his mother. He even scolded his mother for being corrupt. Since then, whenever his grandfather lost something, he would assume that Hao Wan had stolen it, and he would often berate Hao Wan in front of the villagers. This made Hao Wan feel that his grandfather was specifically targeting him, so this tragic incident occurred. The police later arrested the 2 of them at an internet cafe. Hao Wan and Li Xian were charged with intentional homicide, and their method of killing the 5 victims was extremely brutal. However, because they were only 16 years old, they were sentenced to life imprisonment. After being imprisoned, Hao Wan's parents went to see him, and the scene of the 3 of them meeting was extremely awkward. The mother covered her mouth and cried uncontrollably. The father turned his head and wept, not even wanting to look at their son. Hao Wan knelt on the ground, continuously kowtowing and begging his father for forgiveness. "Father, I am your wretch, haven't you had enough? Ha, Dad, please stop crying, ha." But unfortunately, the father still refused to forgive him. In his eyes, no matter what he himself had done wrong, his son should not have died under his own knife. This is a great tragedy. Clearly, this case of killing 5 lives was not caused by a failed theft, but rather by a deeply buried resentment, motivated by long-standing grievances. The 16-year-old teenager destroyed himself and also destroyed the entire family. So, what do you all think about this? Feel free to leave comments and opinions.